From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen, and welcoming you to this Tuesday's edition of For the People on this September the 5th, 2017. I hope you enjoyed your Labor Day. Some of you were able to just stop working. But knowing most of you, you didn't completely just sit around and do absolutely nothing. And if you did, you're lucky and very envious, because here in Florida, our governor on Labor Day yesterday declared Florida a state of emergency. And the reason being is a very overwhelming storm that's named Irma. You may have heard of her, and she's turning out there at the Atlantic and has a lot of people very, very concerned, and rightly so, seeing the devastation in Texas, which was just absolutely terrible. We just don't want to be probably, off guard. A lot of Estonians feel that they were given no warning, really, of what was experienced over there. Was just unbelievable. Still, people can't even get into their houses. A lot of neighborhoods over there in the Houston metro area because they have controlled flooding, where they actually have to let some of the dams out and sadly into the neighborhoods and into these houses where people just can't get in. But back to Irma, she's continuing to strengthen today, and they're saying extremely dangerous Cat 5 storm, prompting state of emergencies in Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and here in the state of Florida where I do the show, sending residents to stores to prepare for the worst. Now, yesterday, I had to pick up a few odds and ends getting ready for dinner at Publix just down the road from me, and it was crazy, but there was just about no water left on the shelf, and usually there is cases and cases and cases, and I asked the clerk, is there going to be any more water? He said, this is the 5th time today that we have stocked the shelves. Now, there was Publix brand somewhere else at the store. I was able to grab some of that. It's not my preferred, but hey, you can't be choosy. Water is water. But, now's the time to get ready. I guess the governor knew that on Labor Day people were off, a lot of people anyway, and may have had the time to do it. But people did take that seriously, from Miami all the way up north to Jacksonville, and all points in between, if you will, to get what they need to get. Now, LED lights, don't forget those. LED lights are very important because they last a lot longer with batteries. Now, some of you don't like the dark to begin with, but accidents happen when you don't have proper lighting. Don't rely on candles. Don't do it. A lot of people, they do it. They like it. It's cheap. LED lights are cheap, and they last a long time. And again, don't use a lot of energy. Don't take chances with candles. You knock something out, you get your drapes on fire, and you walk away from it. The candle falls. Something just bad happens. Don't let it happen. Even if you think you're experienced, just get some LED lighting, and it's bright. It's great. It's cheap. Get it. Pick up some LED lighting. You should always have it. I have backup lighting here in the studio. Now, we're located in a flood zone. Unfortunately, we're right next to the TV station here in Tampa, Florida, but the equipment, my computers, the control board that I use here, the rack of equipment and computers, they're all on backup power. And but the lighting above is track lighting, and I have a light to my left and my right. All that stuff will go off. But I have emergency lighting above, and it's LEDs, and they're very attractive. They're meant for under the counter, but they're magnetic, and they go onto the ceiling where, you have the drop ceiling where there's the metal slats, where the acoustic tile goes in. Well, I just pop them up there, and they're circular, and they're very attractive. A lot of people don't know what they are, but it's lighting, and I got 3 of them here in the studio, so plenty of lights if that should happen. It's not going to happen this week, but we're looking, towards the weekend. This could be a game changer, folks. So what's the wind speed right now? Maximum sustained winds near 175 miles an hour. And where it's located, 270 miles east of Antigua, moving west at 14 miles an hour, according to the National Hurricane Center at its 8 a.m. Eastern Time advisory. For those on our West Coast, Eastern Time advisory. And satellite images, I'm looking here at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, shows Hurricane Irma nearing the eastern Caribbean. And the big weather forecasters, NOAA, all of them are saying some fluctuations in intensity are likely during the next 3 days, but Irma is forecasted to remain a powerful Category 4 or 5 hurricane during the next couple days. So Irma's center expected to move near or over the northern Leeward Islands late tomorrow, early Wednesday, before affecting Puerto Rico on Wednesday. And Irma now is one of the strongest hurricanes that we have witnessed in the last decade as a Category 5 storm. Winds 175 miles per hour, according to new senior meteorologist Janice Dean on the Fox channel. So we're going to be watching Irma. Everybody I've spoken to on social media that's friends here with For the People in Florida or up the Gulf Coast, even in the Carolinas, getting ready, batten down the hatches, people cutting their vacations shorter, and getting ready to just make sure that they have items with you. And what people say, well, what if the thing, it's not as bad, it's not as severe? Well, you got some extra water. You're going to use it. You got some extra food. Now, for you, that's on a shoestring budget, this is not comfortable because we have some listeners that support us and you don't have a lot of money. And sometimes these storms come at the worst times for people that are, on a fixed budget, and, this is kind of stressful for them. Just a suggestion. You might want to hit up your food pantry, your local food pantry in your community or your local church. Just get on the internet and put your zip code in and just say, look, I don't have money for hurricane food or water. Is there anything you can do for us? And you'll be directed to be able to get the items that you need. So that's maybe an idea for you if you just simply, you don't have the money. And people don't. Don't be proud. That's what it's there for, folks. That's why they have these things. People in need, and if you're in need, do it. And if you got the money, then try to find some good places to go, like Sam's, if you have a membership there, or a discount store where you can find some stuff. But, man, this is definitely not something that I wanted to worry about. And we are in where I live. The studio is in a low-lying area. But here's the thing about this hurricane. We don't know exactly, and nor do the forecasters know exactly how far south, how far north this is going to go. It could go into the Gulf waters and head up or head down there, Louisiana, and even into Texas and make landfall down there. But that cone of uncertainty is the unsettling part for a lot of people. And a lot of folks, you could see the stress all over their face in the stores, in traffic, people driving nuts, running, and you could see they're upset about it. And I think one of the biggest reasons, they see the images of Texas, and they see the devastation there, and you see that this is a monster storm, Category 5, got those winds like that. It would be, for anybody, South Florida, here where we're at here on a peninsula in Tampa, it would we're already been warned locally because of some rainstorms we're going to have this week that we could have flooding just because of those. So with wet grounds here And then on top of Irma, if we should have some effects there, we could have some serious flooding going on over here, and that would not be very, very fun. Wouldn't be able to move around too much. We'd have to do For the People by boat. But we do have contingency plans, not to worry, for higher ground and to be safe and kind of knowing how the city lies. And depending on how things go, we have housing arrangements up north of the state and all that good stuff. And then if we can't get out of the city, we know where to go in the city that's very, very safe. And you got to have that conversation. You got to have that talk. No matter if you're even remotely even close to where this hurricane is, everybody should have a contingency plan. And by the way, we were making available for a limited time Chuck's Survival Guide. I'm going to try to get that book back because it's something that everyone should really have. And Chuck did some really great research. The founder of the broadcast, Chuck Harder, wrote a great book, and if we can get enough of those together, we'll price it at a nice price for you, and we might put together some audio as well. We might do a show and then make it a bundle, as Chuck would used to call it, a bundle, so just make it worthwhile. But things that you have to have, and maybe forget just to have your checklist and participate. Make this a family affair, and just have ready. Everybody, every family listening to the broadcast should have some kind of serious plan for whatever the eventuality might be. So just some food for thought for you. And if you listen to the show, we're all about planning. And, when I was younger, I used to think, man, these crazy people planning for everything. But I tell you what, you want to be with somebody that's got water, got food, got heat, and was ready versus somebody that had nothing, and that's not good. And so you don't want to – that's where the stress comes from. See, a lot of people along the coast already stock up on things. They have stuff under the pantries or under the couches or – under the bed. They got water, and they just buy little extra things that are on sale, so they always have plenty of canned goods in case the power should go out. I mean, think about, somebody cuts into an electric line and you have no power in your house for days. Sometimes that happens, believe it or not. We say, well, I'll just go down to the restaurant. Well, that's a possibility. Bring the 5 kids down. Then all your stuff in the freezer, they say don't open the freezer. Just mess with the refrigerator. But anyways, we're watching it. Pray for us here in Florida as we're praying for people, quite frankly, for Texas. They're still finding dead people in houses. So the death toll increasingly rising there in Texas. Very, very sad. There, but man, I am so proud. I got to tell you of the recovery effort from people that are just lending all their time, energy, resources, just helping perfect strangers, and even celebrities that have gotten involved with putting money into the pot, so to speak, to give $1 million here and $100,000 there. With celebrities just doing it, not making this a political event. And I'm very impressed that they're just not going there with Donald Trump. At least I haven't heard anything, with people saying anything bad. And the imagery that has come out with the African-American girl and family with Donald Trump hugging on them and showing a more personal side to Donald Trump. They say, if a picture is worth a 1,000 words, that certainly was. We got a breaking news story here from Fox 13. It says, as Hurricane Irma is further strengthens, Tropical Storm Jose forms in Atlantic. That's right behind Irma. So it is extremely active out there. Jose would be the next one. Tropical storm looking very interesting and very, very promising. So back to Houston. Harvey, as you know, was a Category 4. Brought 52 inches of rain to some parts of Houston. Flood models released by the Federal Emergency Management Agency show